and drift away. And I don't care how high you are.
Yo guys, Vibez here coming at you with this different video, and this is going to be actually crazy because I haven't made a Samsung versus Apple comparison yet, side by side, so just know that if I do say something stupid, don't be like mad at me or anything. And keep in mind, this is all opinions on how I use my phone, so of course I'm not gonna like have a bunch of tips and tricks in this video. It's just gonna be a little side-by-side comparison of what I like and what I don't like about both of the phones. So let's get right into it, guys. So maybe as you can tell, I have the iPhone 6 and the Galaxy S5. Now the Galaxy S5 is a little bit worn. One reason why I don't use it today. Now right off the bat, let's look at the battery percentages. This one's at 19 and this one's at 95. I don't know if you can tell that because this is really scratched up. I apologize. So this one's at 19, this one's at 95. They've been both off the charger for the same amount of time, and yes, of course, I don't use this phone as much as I use this one because this one's broke, of course. It still turns on and everything, I just don't use it. But this one's been off the charger for like 10 minutes. I took it off the charger when it was about at 37%. So let's just talk about the battery life of this real quick. For the Galaxy S5, it lasts about 3.5 hours, and it goes down if you're watching a movie a percent every 2 minutes, which is incredible. Now, as you can tell, you can change the batteries by yourself manually if it ever gets old, if you use your phone a lot and you wear out the battery. Not mentioning that the life of the battery for the 6 is about 2.5 hours. And to me and pretty much every teenager who uses their phone constantly, an hour of extra life is a huge deal. Now let's get into something positive about the 6. And as you can tell, when you hold your thumb on the Touch ID, it automatically unlocks. Now as with the Galaxy S5, if you do that, that's not how you unlock it. You can use a fingerprint scanner on here, but look at this. You have to swipe your finger, and it's absolutely terrible if your finger's wet and doesn't work at all. And the display completely changes on the S5 when you change it to a fingerprint mode. It even says words, enter backup password, and it just looks ugly. As you can tell, it can be a little frustrating too. I can't even, there we go. Now if you're like me and love to listen to music every single second of the day that you're not doing something, then you might want to choose the S5, and I'll show you why. The S5 has a built-in equalizer, and if you don't know much about equalizers, you can just hit basic, and then you can say if you want more bass, then click that, and less bass than that, and then you just go up to whatever sound you like. And you do get the little options down here, which I use all the time. This one's my favorite. As if with the 6, all you get is a little equalizer. It does say equalizer, but all you get is just genres of music, technically. Not really, but it says rock, R&B, but there is some up here: acoustic, bass booster, bass reducer, and classical. Now that's one thing I hate about switching from the S5 to the 6, is that the music options are just so limited with the 6. Now let's get into the notification bars, which is also a big switch from it's S5 to an Apple 6. The notification bars are completely different, and there's kind of basically 2 notification bars on the 6. I'll get to that in a second. The 6, as you can tell, it's very basic, and it just shows like daily news, and I don't even have it set up because I don't find it useful at all. But you can, I find the notifications tab on the pull down bar useful. Now as with the S5, watch, pull it down, and you get these little shortcuts that you can scroll across, and then you can program it to what settings you want to show right here, and just look at that. Shoutouts to Whit Lowry. So on the 6, the tab that you're going to want to use a lot rather than the pull down tab would be the pull up bar. Now there is a negative to this bar, is very cranky when you're in other applications. Let's say when you're texting, it really sucks. And it's so annoying when you type sentences. It actually frustrates me. Now, as when you're using the S5 in like some kind of application, it's the easiest thing to pull down. You don't have to pull it twice. In games you do, but in everything else you don't. And it shows your notifications and helps access the settings a lot easier. Now this is one of the main reasons why I switched over from a Galaxy S5 to the 6. Text messaging in this day and age is very popular, and everyone does it. And if you don't have the same type of phone in a group message, and by type of phone I mean Samsung or Apple, then on the S5 when it receives a group message, it will randomize all of the messages, and it's so annoying. But if you had the 6, which has iMessage, which is one of the main reasons why I switched over, is because iMessage is such a huge thing, it works perfectly. And of course, every app that every teenager uses. FaceTime, another major reason why I switched over from the S5 to a 6. Now let's look at the designs on these phones. This is made out of aluminum, and this one's made out of plastic, and it's just, this is so bad. Whoever designed this, that's working for Samsung, you should be ashamed of this design. Although the S5 is water resistant, just take a quick glance at those two phones. Tell me which one looks better. Which one looks more professional? I'm gonna give it all to the 6. It is a beautiful looking phone. The S5 does come with a pulse detection, which is good, and I have used it, and it is very good and works. I'm gonna have to give the body of the iPhone versus the S5 all to the iPhone. Winner for this one. I'm trying to unlock my phone again. I don't know why I can't do it. There we go. Now when it comes to gaming, I'm also have to give it to the 6. Even though, as you can tell from this picture right here, I don't know if you can really see, but the color on the S5 is so much nicer. This is more of a yellowish because it's supposed to be yellow, and this is more of a greenish, and it looks really nasty. But the reason why I give the 6 the win for gaming is because it does run games, I believe, up to 60 FPS or 120, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. And the bottom line is that the Galaxy S5 does not look as smooth as the iPhone 6. See, this is a good example. You can see this is orange, and this one's green, and this one's red. And this is how it's supposed to look. When it comes to sound, sound is very important, and so what I love about the S5 is that when you hit the sound button, which is the volume rockers that are right here, located on the left side of the phone, and when you click them, it'll bring you to this bar. You click this, and it'll bring you to your ringtone, media, notifications, and system, and you can change it all right here. And this is good for, like, if you're on a call with somebody, you can watch a YouTube video and have them down and just adjust it separately, than having to adjust the sounds all at once. As with the iPhone 6, you cannot do that, and that's probably the worst thing about it. I use this little setting shortcut every time I went to adjust the volume. And when it comes to notifications while on your phone, I'm gonna have to give it, definitely, no doubt about it, all to the 6, and I'll show you why. Let's say you open up your phone and you have notifications. You know you have notifications. If you look at it, there's little numbers that display how many notifications you have for that app. And this is such a unique feature when it comes to the 6. Now there are some applications that allow it, like Facebook, and I think Twitter does too, but email as well. But not every single application has that. And every application on the 6 has it, and it's like amazing. Now here's an also degrading thing about the 6. People think that the 6 camera is better, but there's no doubt that the S5 brings so much better quality. People who can actually compare that and think that the 6 is better, they are actually stupid. This is the best camera you can probably buy on the market today for smartphones. Now the S6 and the S7 I heard are improved, which I don't know how you can make a phone camera any better than this. Now this is the degrading part about the S5. The front camera on this is so bad, and it looks terrible. The 6 camera on the front is no doubt better than this. Okay guys, we're almost done here, and I have just one more thing to show you, and it's really quick. So when you use a bunch of applications, you know, you always want to close your applications, because either you don't have unlimited data and it'll sit there and run the app in the background and use up your data, or it just slows down your phone. You're gonna double tap this to get to the multi-window thing, and there's a button for it on the S5. Now here's the crazy part. When you have 1,000 applications running on the 6, it's so stupid that you have to scroll up every single time to delete something. As with the S5, there's one button, clear all, and it's boom, done. And now my opinion, since I've had both of these phones and I've used them for a little bit, I necessarily wouldn't switch over to the 6 if you had a perfectly working Samsung Galaxy S5. Now, like I said, there are some features that everyone wants: iMessage, FaceTime, Touch ID, and a couple other things that Samsung will never have on their phone because it's just exclusive for Apple. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this side-by-side comparison. Like I said, I do not know a lot of facts about both of these phones. I don't know specs. I don't know a lot of things about them. But from personal use, these are my opinions on what they could fix on one device and the other. Now, I do love my iPhone. I'm not gonna lie. I am a huge iPhone hater. I've hated them since whenever I got a phone. I've never liked Apple. I've always had Galaxies. But it's not a bad switch at all. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I did work really hard on this video. I've actually recorded 30 minutes, or 30 or 40 minutes of just footage. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, and peace out, everybody.
drift away.